So, my dear Gemini, this is your reading for the month of Aries, which means the Earth has turned in such a way that we see now behind the Sun the constellation Aries, which is highlighting the Moon in Gemini. And this combination always brings us to our head, to the way we want to bring an idea into this world, because Aries for me is meditation. Aries is the seed in our head. And of course you are Gemini, the lovers, and I gave you one of the most difficult positions, which is King Pigeon. And when we reach back to our feet, to our subconscious, which Aries has like in this metal shoes, right? It's like opening us so much that we see the sun as that higher consciousness within us. And so the lovers is then that true self-love, that true heart that I can realize or actually even feel happening in my head, in my brain, in my whole beingness. And so this inspiration for today is to really truly understand that you are loving yourself, that you are having the responsibility to love yourself fully. And then the right partner will be there to go the path with you, and he will love you just the way you love yourself. And so Aries is ruled by Mars and is the first house of self, and you are ruled by Mercury, the messenger, and you are the third house of communication, just that you know. Your court card is the Knight of Swords if your birthday is between May 10th and June 9th. This is your court card. Now they are overlapping with the monthly shift of the sun, so just please look in the description below. I have listed all the court cards here and all the cards that I'm using today. So today you're getting a right spinning reading, because that's connected with the Earth that spins around its own axis every 24 hours. And nevertheless, you are running into the left spinning cycle, which is your soul cycle. Right spinning is the human path. Left spinning is the soul path. And here you are going very clearly the energy of your mind into the soul. Like it's almost like you're driven to do something. It's almost like your soul is telling you, you got to do that. This is very important. And the left spinning path, I connect with the Earth's wobble around its own axis to the left. And the wobble lasts 25,800 years, and that we divide through the 12 zodiac signs, and we get an age of 2,150 years. And currently we're going from the age of Pisces slowly into the age of Aquarius, slowly into the mind, out of the water, up into the sky, into the star, into the hope. And so you are one of those who brings that message to the people. Right? You recognize that because you're an air sign. And so this is why I'm doing two different readings, right? So all year you're getting a right spinning, the human reading, and then on your full moon, which is always opposite of your sign, which is Sagittarius, you're getting a soul reading, a full moon soul reading, and you get all 22 major arcanas lying here. Now, connecting back to the last reading, because this is a path for me. It's not like, oh, last reading is finished, it's over. It's like this is continuing like a spiral, moving you. And you had Pisces Sun highlighting the Gemini Moon. And the message was, you start to trust your intuition to create your heart's biggest desire. And the Empress is here, right? And the freedom to be spiritually inspired by the energy of the age of Aquarius, that new age that is now wanting to come to us. And so let's have a look what Aries is wanting to tell you. On the position of the Fool comes the Two of Swords, and the Two of Swords is always that moment that you recognize you gotta really go deep within, because you have one sword in your hand, and two swords is Moon in Libra, and it's the Lord of Peace. And a peacefulness begins by understanding what duality is, what polarity is. What here comes to us always in this dimension is that we have a choice. We can go between right and left, and up and down, and in and out. And so the Fool, as you can see, is facing the soul path, and if he's falling down, he's literally like, okay, I'm gonna come down. I'm gonna come down into the center of these two energies and learn here, because the soul, where it is, it doesn't need to learn anything anymore. It's whole there. And so the soul is coming down into the Two of Swords and is again like, okay, I'm gonna learn. I'm gonna bring myself into a state of consciousness that is letting me know, oh, I have a choice. But always remember, you have that one sword, you have that one thought that is then bringing you to the center of this card. And so a very interesting perspective is coming to you, an idea, a feeling of like, I gotta make peace with myself. Then on the position of the Magician comes here the fire aspect. And now it's really interesting. I do German and English readings, and I always do the German reading first, because the moon is 2.5 to 3 days in one sign, so I have time to do on one day the German, and the other day I do the English reading. And I sometimes notice synchronicities, right? Because I have a deck here of this deck in German and then one in English. And yesterday on this position on a different deck, right? Because the other deck, it says Feuer, because that's the word for fire. I had the same card coming up. And so very interesting comes the card number 19, which then becomes a 10 when we calculate it together, right? So you have one, the Magician, find the magic within you as that completion, as that I know who I am through the Magician and through the Hermit, understanding what it is to be in my center, what it is to be challenged constantly by duality or polarity. And here I am called upon. The 1 and the 9 is, I know who I am from deep within. I know that I have that one sword, like I said, that one sword, right? Because the 1 and the 0 is the 10. And so here that one sword is going to help you to, or that one thought is going to help you to come into the center of these two swords and make peace with something. And it immediately catapults you up into the 10, right? From 1, the Magician is the one, he's the master of all 4 elements. You are then immediately going into the 10, which is then the spiritual path here in this physical world can be lived, can be brought into existence. And this is the sun, right? The 19 and the tarot is the sun. And so you are getting pushed immediately into a state of consciousness that's saying, yes, you can do it. You will be successful. You will be clear with the fact that you have to bring yourself mentally into that one thought that your soul has, right? and wants to live here in this dimension. And then comes on the position of the High Priestess, comes here Scorpio, the Death card, the transformation, right? He is the child of the great transformation. And so this is very interesting because Pluto is connected with Scorpio, right? And ruling Scorpio. And Pluto has moved into the Aquarian age, or into Aquarius, right? And so here comes immediately a feeling or an intuition, because the High Priestess is the intuition that something is going to shift and transform in my life very strongly, and I'm going to let things go. And it's good that you let things go, because other things want to come to you. And so let go of whatever it is. And you can see how he is facing the left spinning path. The death for the soul is not really something of importance, but nevertheless the soul that comes down, right? The Fool is the soul. He comes down and he's challenging himself to be part of duality. And so here comes this one tool that cuts away everything that doesn't work for you anymore. So that is that one sword, right? That is saying, okay, cut whatever doesn't work for you anymore out of your life, because it doesn't make sense to keep it. It will occupy your mind, and it will constantly challenge you to think about something that you don't want to think about anymore. And so the success, or this new cycle, is literally saying, yes, here comes the number 13, the one, right? The magician, the one, and the 3, which is then the Empress. And calculated together, it's the 4, and that's the responsibility. Giving yourself now the power to be responsible for your life. That's what Aries is bringing to you here already, then through this number 4. And the 3 again, as that I give birth to a new consciousness when I let go of things. On the position then of the Empress, right, which is then the 3 here in this card, comes Capricorn, the number 15. And the number 15 becomes a 6. Like you are the number 6, the clear 6, the Lovers, the 2 triangles that face each other, which creates the hexagram. And here comes the number 15, the 1, where we have again this strong fire, this strong feeling of like, I gotta actively do something about my life. And the 5, which is the Hierophant, which is the opposite of the High Priestess, right? So the High Priestess is the female energy of the priestess. And of course here the 5 senses, the Hierophant, he is the priest, the masculine aspect of that personality that is connected very deeply with the spiritual path. Comes the social status that you can only climb through the third eye up and liberate yourself from any attachment of this world. And so here comes a very interesting card, right? The Coagula and Solve, or Solve Coagula, which means I unite and I separate. I can again and again through the dualities be in a state of like, now I'm bound to this dimension, but I can liberate myself again out of this dimension. And so here you get Capricorn coming into your life and maybe helping you to climb the social status and give birth to a new state of consciousness, right? That is liberating itself here into the star of the third eye. And this is what you give birth to through the Empress. Then comes on the position of Aries, the 7 of Pentacles. And the Seven of Pentacles is always that moment where you recognize, okay, physically I gotta have success and financial success to actually be a player with all the other players. And that's Saturn in Taurus. And Taurus is the bank, is this physicalness in a level of the seven that can be a crown chakra, but also can be a moment of test. A test where you're looking at all the things that you've done so far. You worked hard. And so you can actually say, yeah, the success is there, but it's always the test. And that's what also Capricorn brings to us, right? Capricorn is that, oh, I climbed that social status, but now I'm actually also trapped or attached to all the things that I have, and I am in that wheel and I can't get out, and I'm liberating myself only through the third eye and only through an inner awareness. And so here you're standing and you're looking at all the things that you have done so far. And this is what Aries is bringing to us, right? Aries is someone that says, well, I am an emperor. I am connected to financial success. So you are called upon to see how much do you want to attach yourself to that. And then comes your court card, right? On the position of your court card, which is here the Knight of Swords, comes the Ten of Wands. It's almost like you have done so much that you actually say, all right, enough. Enough of all that doing, because you have a 10-10 portal here with the fire. And the Ten of Wands is a strong fire, is Saturn in Sagittarius, right? And you have here Saturn in Taurus. And Saturn in Taurus is like a certain attachment then with also the action that we have to do to keep this success. And somehow you're coming down from the mountain. Somehow you are ready to let go a little bit of doing too much, right? You are now needing to recover and be responsible about the inspiration that is coming to you through the Magician. And that inspiration of the 10-10 portal, 2 times 10 is like, okay, I have understood that there is a creativity in doing certain things, and I don't need to attach myself. I don't need to push myself. I can also come down from the mountain. I don't always need to go up the mountain. I can also come down the mountain. And so you worked on yourself to come down the mountain. Then on the position of the Lovers comes the Hermit, comes the number 9, comes exactly the 9 that is also here in this card. So the 10 becomes a 1, and so you have the number 19, which is the success, recognizing that success comes from deep within, from knowing yourself, from understanding who you truly are, that you can also walk down the mountain. You don't have to be always up there on the top. You don't always have to be attached to the social status. You don't have to do anything. You want to do things, right? And so you are looking as the Hermit into the right spinning path. You are coming down. You have seen all the things that you've done, and you know, yes, I am good enough. I don't always need to work that hard. I just also want to glow. I just also want to be. And you have come down to see that, yes, it's time to actually move on, to come from 10 to 9 and to go and continue the path of this life. And then comes on the position of the Moon an oracle card, a dream oracle card, because this is what Pisces does, right? This is the age of Pisces speaking to you through the moon. And you see here the number 34, lay of the land, the ancestral wisdom. So you are getting here in the Hermit And in the position of the sun up on the mountain, you are getting all the information that you need to continue your path. And you have the 34, which then is here on the position of the Empress. The knowledge of, yes, social status attaches us. This is the 6 that is connected with the 1 and the 5, right? To be magic and to use the 5 senses then becomes a self-love. But you are the clear 6, right? 6 that is really knowing I am just myself, united within me. I have the conscious, the subconscious, and the higher conscious within me. And then you have the 4 in this, which is then the Emperor. The Emperor of, I take responsibility of all the things that I've done so far. And so you can put this tool down and stand up here on the mountain, because you have understood that here the Hermit is in the fire, is in the doing, is someone that is saying, yes, be successful, because the 7-7 portal is saying be successful and create something new and just do it and lay the land of your new possibilities, of the ancestral wisdom that is wanting to come to you and that you have seen deep within you. And so 2 times 7 is the creativity in understanding that even spirituality or enlightenment brings tests to us. Then on the position of the sun comes the dark matter, and the dark matter is the 38. Again, the sun, right? We have the sun, the 19 here. We have on the position of the Empress, the Capricorn, the attachment of the social status. And you have then the number 8, which is when you connect to that infinite coming and going, you are recognizing that the 38 creates a portal, creates the 11, creates then with this one and with this one 4 times the 1, and 4 times the 1 is the heart, right? So even though Aries is quite an emperor, but he also is connected with the heart. So take responsibility of your heart. Really important that you recognize that here now in the position of the sun, which is in Aries. Recognize that you are the master of anything that you can do in this world, because dark matter, they discovered, might actually be where we come from. And dark matter is always then that side that the church has doomed negative, has doomed as something we need to get rid of. And that's also why the devil, which is the darkest month of the year, has been put into position, because the dark side is the feminine side, is that where we place the seed. But we need contrast. We need in the duality the contrast of these opposite energies. And dark doesn't always mean negative or evil. Dark just means that's where I place the seed. That's where I place my idea. And the idea is dark matter can give birth to liberation, can give birth to anything. And that's where, again, here, the Scorpio energy is coming in. It's actually saying liberate yourself completely from the things that people have told you. And then comes on the position of the world, the 3 of coins. And the 3 of coins is like building something for the world. Mars in Capricorn. And so here the 3 with the Empress, and then of course Capricorn on it, and Mars in Capricorn is saying you can build anything, you can do anything. If you understand how all of this works, you can climb in the social status without getting attached. You can build now something magnificent with others. And this is what then is bringing a liberation to the Two of Swords, because 3 is the new 1. So if you want to come into the center of the Two of Swords, all you need to do is create something new, which is the number 3. The number 3 is form, the first form, right? So this is a state of consciousness of the Fool. There is no form yet. And the same thing with the Magician. There's no form yet with the Magician. It's a state of consciousness. And there's no form yet with the High Priestess either. Right? And then the first form on the Empress is here the social status. Is that you want to be part of the social status. You want to be part of the elite. But the elite also has then this kind of energy in it if you are not careful. If you are not able to look, oh, okay, there are tests, then after the 6 comes the 7, right? There are tests, and that I do need to get back down from the mountain. As you can see here, the hair that's braided. But you know that you are supported by a Virgo, right? And the Virgo is the one that understands very clearly all of this, right? All of this self-love. And so here you are now, recognizing that the 2 swords are here so that you can build something new, that you can build something magnificent. Again, a triangle is pointing upwards. And so, yes, you are ready for the next step, right? You start to trust your intuition to create your heart's biggest desire. And your heart's biggest desire might be social status, on a level that is creative, on a level that is actually fun, on a level that you can see, yes, I can just build anything. I can be on the mountain and I can put my arms up. See how he or she is standing up there, is looking at the sun, looking at the success. And yes, the success is here if you want it. But success also means we got to work for it. There's a lot of things that we have to do all of a sudden when we're successful. It's not like, oh, I can just sleep in. And a lot of people think that, right? They're like, okay, well, I can do just whatever. And so the Sun, and of course Aries in the position of the Sun, is now bringing you the dark matter. It's bringing you now the 11 portal with the 1 of this and the 1 of this. So 4, the number 4 is here at the heart, and right, the heart's biggest desire, and your heart's biggest desire is to create. The 3 is always creating new form, creating new ideas, creating new projects that are actually exciting you and bring you away from this two-fold energy that this dimension brings you. So you're gonna find really, truly the path of peace, right? Peacefulness within yourself through the number 3. Wow, what a message. I never know what's coming up here, right? It's really, really interesting, because when I look at it from here, I see it in the right spinning path, but the moment I put it in the camera, I see it as the soul path. It's really, really fascinating. And so I hope I see you in the next reading, because then the Earth is spinning in such a way that we see behind the Sun, we see Taurus, and you do have Taurus here, Saturn in Taurus. That's that. So you are going to be able to look at the work that you have done and see what more wants to be coming to you, because these are tests. Until then, I thank you so much for being with me. Namaste.